When your old career gives you lemons, throw in some ice, mix in some vodka, and call it a podcast. From the Mac of All Trades studio in Fairport, and driven by Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, it's Billified, the Bill Moran Podcast.
Thanks for getting your pot on. Thank you for telling a friend. That's how we spread the word about the pirate ship. Dan's here in his Yankee cap, getting ready for spring training's in full
funny?
swing.
I haven't watched a spring training game in 20 years.
Sometimes it's fun, especially if you get one in late February, because you're sort of seeing like Sarasota, Florida or something. It's like, yes. Yes, life will come back eventually. But yeah, that's kind of fun. I'd like to start out today, Dan, if you don't mind, with an apology. And I had to do this, not to you, to a listener. I had said some things on the podcast, which will be made clear in their statement to me. I'll even give you my statement back to them.
A moa culpa.
Yeah, moa culpa. Yes. Yeah, that's pretty good. This person writes, and I will leave their name out of it. I listen to every single podcast of Billified since you began. Now, Doug was in here the other day. You and Doug talking about GLP-1s show your ignorance. I'll tell you what I said after. You should not throw out your judgmental opinions. Doug didn't. I did. Saying it's the easy way out is totally not true for people who truly are obese. GLP shots have been used and tested for over 20 years with no long-term problem. Some people may need to take the med for the rest of their life. GLP is a hormone-type peptide that humans make in their body, but obese people... Okay, now I'm going to start laughing, and I'm trying not to. Obese people don't make enough of it, similar to how diabetics don't make enough insulin. For people who have fought fat their whole life, this is life-changing. And it also is anti-inflammatory for some. It takes away arthritis or other chronic problems. Also very helpful for preventing cardiac issues. It's miraculous. You really sounded offensive to me. I'm still a loyal listener, but couldn't help but tell you how really dumb you sounded tonight. Not sorry. Now, what I said was, I don't have a problem with anybody using GLP-1s because it came up, Doug had gone to Turks and Caicos, and I called it Turks and Fatsos. Because he's had a picture.
Turks and Caicos.
Turks and Cankles. He had a picture of him on the beach, but that belly was like a bowling ball. And I said to him, I go, it's sort of unfair because, and I probably sounded like even more ignorant.
Where'd he go with it, dude?
A friend of his was getting married, so it was a destination wedding, and he was invited, and he went down. Yeah,
a lot of Uber rides for that one.
Yeah. And so did
he ask if he could fly the plane?
I don't know.
I know what I'm doing.
No, but I
carry people around all the time.
I think he was, my cameras are all goofy. So he brought up the GLP-1s, and I said, yeah, I think they're great for people to lose weight. I think anything that's going to help you feel better about yourself, I have no problem with it, whether it be plastic surgery or anything. On a very simple level, I have no problem with any of that because it's hard enough, right? The human experience is tough. Yeah, whatever's going to get you through the day. I'm cool with that. But then if you ask me my opinion of GLP-1s, all I said was, I've noticed since a lot of celebrities who were out there going big is beautiful and love me for who I am, I haven't heard that. And that's all I said. Don't jump in yet. Don't jump in yet. Hang on. Let me finish my thought.
I haven't said a word.
Nope. I heard you. You're ready. I know you're ready. But this is where you're smart. You write it down. So I just said, what happened to all those people who were telling me, I go, where's the Lizzos? Oh, they're skinny now. So it doesn't fucking matter. Like, so in a way, were you all full of shit? Because the GLP-1s, and all I said about the GLP-1s, and I would say this, and I'm basing my information on people who had gastric bypass surgery. Does it help you in the short term? Yes. But if you're not disciplined, it's not going to work anyway. Do you have to stay on shots for the rest of your life? This person writes that maybe some people have to do that. Some people may have to do that if they're diabetic and it's really working for them. That's wonderful. I don't want to be giving myself a shot all the time. But when you used to say things like, diet and exercise, people would start fucking jumping up and down at you going, no, don't tell me. I come from a big family, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. Hey, look, I'm not a chemist. I'm sure you know that I'm not a doctor. I'm not a biophysicist. I have no idea what really goes on. All I know is myself. I did do one of those extreme diets and I lost weight. There were drops and some bullshit like that, but
I did the
most
same
of
thing.
it was like 700 calories when I was doing it a day. Yeah. And it's tough.
It's not easy, dude.
But it worked and it took it off very quickly. And it took it off for a long time, but it's amazing what it does for your body. And I'm sure the people that are losing the weight are seeing all the benefits this person, who, thank you for listening every day, sincerely, or every episode, that this person is also seeing, right? You lose the weight, there's probably less pain on the joints, the inflammation goes down. All those things are wonderful. All I'm saying is it's like a shortcut to get there. And just like I was talked about the story of my aunt's husband. His name is Frank. And my parents, when after the house burned down, they rebuilt this really nice house, but they had a powder room right off the kitchen. And my aunt and her husband lived in Albany, about an hour away from my mom. And so she would be there for, like, let's say Easter dinner or whatever. And all of a sudden, like 25 minutes after they left, Frank would come literally running into the house and he'd go into the bathroom and he would fucking blow it up, dude, because he overate. And the thing was, like, I'm sure that feels, pardon the pun, shitty, but, and I said, my father used to say all the time, he would go, let me be frank with you, please don't. That's what my dumb dad's joke. That was his dad joke.
He was clever.
He was clever. So, but the thing was, like, I go, okay, so those guys did it, and some people blew through it and put weight on and had to have another surgery or whatever. I'm not sure what's going to happen with the GLP-1s. If it's working for you, wonderful. Don't fucking listen to me. But if you ask me my opinion, and no one really did, I just spit it out. So let me go there. But if I were asked my opinion would be I'm cautious because it's not giving you, it's not changing your lifestyle. I've heard people who have tried it. It didn't really work for them, but the cramping and the pain was so unbelievable. Maybe there's different ones. I don't know. It's not something I want to try. Do I need to lose weight? You bet your sweet ass I do. Do I have a plan for it? You bet your sweet ass I do. So but that's different to me. Doesn't mean that I'm right, although I think I am.
So I love the fact that people listen to this podcast.
Me too.
Or any podcast for that matter. I've always believed, and I learned this lesson in the break room, if you can't laugh at yourself, you have no right to laugh at anything else or anybody else, because at some point it's going to be your turn. How do you handle it? And you weren't making fun of this situation.
I wasn't trying
you
to.
Were literally,
I was just
everybody's got an opinion on things, and all of a sudden when the person who, gets offended by someone's opinion lashes out, I don't want to say lashes out, but gets angry about that and says you're uneducated and all this other stuff, okay, well, show me the data. And they kind of did.
Yeah.
But it's okay to disagree. Here's where you're coming from, and here's what I agree with, okay? Ozempic, all those drugs, they want you on those drugs for life. Here's what I mean. You ever own a credit card?
Yeah.
The credit card company, if you could pay for it yourself in cash, you would, but you don't. Why? Because you got a credit card, you could pay it off a little bit at once, and the credit card company is betting the odds. What are the odds? That you won't pay it all off in time. That you will have to pay a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and a little bit more, and then they got you on the chain, right?
Yep.
It was an experiment that was started in Fresno, California, and now it's spread globally, the credit card.
Yeah.
And like I remember when I was a young guitarist, I went to Guitar Center thinking that I had to have the money in hand to buy the guitar. No, you can get financing, interest-free for 12 months, right? But then once you hit the 12 months, if you haven't paid the guitar off, the interest rate was something like 22%, which is ridiculous. So what did I do? Month after month, I didn't have to make any payments. I'm like, I'll make it eventually. And I never did. Eventually, I had to pay that plus the interest on it, which was ridiculous. Point being is they were playing the odds that, hey, if you need credit, guess what?
Right.
They're going to be able to milk it. It's the same thing with this. If you change your lifestyle, or if you do the work, you won't need to be hooked on this chain.
Right. Look,
because I know a lot of people. You want to talk about stats?
Yeah.
I know people who've gotten off GLPs, and guess what? They're bigger than they were before they got on.
Well, that's too bad.
They've turned into an accordion.
Yeah, I don't.
And that's dangerous too. Why? Because the drug companies have played the odds against you that you're not going to change your lifestyle. You're going to go back to being what you were before.
But I would say this too, like diet and exercise. It's amazing when I did do that diet, how much better I slept, how much clearer I thought. So there's stuff in our diet, right? But it's hard to avoid. I'm tired. I'm just looking for something quick. So what's quick? Shitty food is usually quick.
Yes,
not always, but usually. And so I think too, like exercise isn't just good for your body; it's good for your mental health. It really is. Here's
one of the best pills you can take is your exercise.
Here's my response, just so you know. Because, and I really was not. I don't think you were trying to be a jerk. No, I said, and maybe I said I was yelling a little bit and stuff.
Well, it's a show. You tune in for this reason.
So I said, I appreciate you saying this seriously, and thank you for riding with Billified from day one. That matters to me. If I came off ignorant or dismissive about GLP meds, that's on me. The last thing I ever want to do is minimize something that's genuinely life-changing for people. I was riffing, not researching, and those are two different lanes. That said, you understand that not everyone using them is in the category you describe, but even those people shouldn't be minimized. Point taken, I can have opinions without being flippant about someone else's health journey. Thanks for calling me out. And then I said, this was really me, not Doug. I don't know why I feel like I needed to add that, but I did.
If you ever watch a YouTube video with someone who's an influencer, they have to put the disclaimer, for entertainment purposes only. If you don't have that drilled into your head by now, look, I can't help you.
No, but the thing is, like, it was my opinion on something that is working for her.
Great. Awesome.
This person, I didn't want to.
Then what do you care for?
Well, I'm glad they did, because that's what I want. I want you to feel like you can interact with this show and you can be heard on this show and we can have discussions on these things and that's it. But the biggest, look, to me, the worst thing for humans is uncertainty, right? So if I start this diet, I'm uncertain I could stick with it. But if I think this drug is going to do it for me, I might be better at sticking with it. It's a weird thing, right? And it would be funny. It would be really interesting to me if they somewhere did a placebo GLP-1 thing, where people didn't have it, but did they were just injecting.
I feel like I'm getting better.
Well, I mean, but they're losing weight and they're eating better. And instead of picking up a bag of chips, they pick up a bag of baby carrots, whatever that is. I would love to see that, because I do think that there's a little bit to that. And that to me would be like, we live in this illusion of control, but you can control those things.
Yes, you can.
That's the stuff that's interesting.
Now, there are some factors in genetics and biology that influence those things. Yes. I know people they've been battling this their entire lives. Their mothers tried to feed them the best foods and everything else. They just have that issue. Right. It's genetic. That does play a part. Don't kid yourself.
This person then responded saying something like that.
Yeah,
I come from a fat family, so then I go, okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know.
By the way, have you seen Charles Barkley recently?
Yeah, just on ESPN the other day.
Dude, he's got to be on that stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, everybody's on it.
But it's almost scary. Kelly Osbourne looks awful.
Well, she lost a lot of weight.
Who's that one chick? Rebel Wilson? She looks terrible. Lizzo looks awful. Well, Lizzo was the poster child that you were discussing earlier.
This is what I'm saying. Is like
South Park made a whole episode about it. You're too poor to afford GLP-3s, so we have the other cure, Lizzo. Which at the time was feeling good about being big.
Yes.
Remember Weight Watchers wouldn't even call itself Weight Watchers anymore. It was WW. Oh. And then Bill Maher called them out. So why don't we just call it for what it is? Why do we have to hide it?
But that's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it is okay.
You get to a certain point in your life, and if you have kids, you got a lot of shitty food in your house. And it's hard. It's hard to not eat the chicken nuggets. And it's hard to not eat whatever chips are around and try to dive into something. It's tough. And I did that for the past 2 years that Jameson's here. I ballooned way up. So I'm trying, but I don't want to do something like that. And I have friends. I have a lot of guys I know. And it's the thing is like
you lose muscle.
It's quiet. Like they don't say much.
But all of a sudden, like you see him, you haven't seen him in a while. Then all of a sudden you see him like 2 months later. Whoa, Doug. Now it's just
wow.
DO. What happened to the UG?
Well, see, to me, waiting for something, Danny, to lose the weight, that's about character. Don't you think?
Yeah.
It builds character.
Dude, for 7 weeks, man, like you, I was one of those, I had to eat 500 calories a day.
Right.
And I've been able to keep my weight down. Not to where it was, but like within like 5 to 10 pounds.
Sure.
Okay. It takes work. And you got to do it every day.
And look,
you got to weigh yourself every day. You can't wait a week. You have to do it every day so you know what you're doing daily. It's commitment.
I would say that, patience is one thing, right? You got to have some patience. We don't like that. Think of people at the DMV. They fucking go crazy.
Oh, dude, like we live in an on-demand world. And with AI, it's only getting worse.
And you've got, I'll say this, I believe this is more of a religious term, but I use it a lot. Faith that this is going to work. Mm-hmm. And you got to have a little humility along the way to just kind of suck it up and do it. Speaking of the DMV, no, I have I had the DMV is interesting. They do something now at the DMV that I can't decide if it's ingenious or it's torture. I can't decide yet, and I'm not kidding. I have my dad's car, and I have not registered it. I haven't driven it a ton except for maybe long trips and things, but I haven't registered it since I've had it since, I don't know, like the end of the summer or whatever it was. Maybe it was right after he died. So I'm finally like, I got to get to the DMV and get this registered for New York. I have a New York State inspection on there, but I did not have the tags. So I go to the DMV, and you got to sign in now. Have you been to the DMV?
Not recently.
All right. You got to sign in on an iPad. And then they tell you, it comes up. And I think it's the same for everybody. I was hoping to be there as soon as they opened. There were things that were unforeseen in my morning.
Your whole life is unforeseen.
Well, I mean, I look at it this way. Yes, but I always have to go. Life's never going to stop coming at you. Yeah. How are you going to handle it?
That's why I like when you do your schedule every morning. It's like problems.
Yeah.
8 to 10.
Well, yeah, putting out fires. So I get there probably around 9:45. They opened at 8:30. I get in line, a little bit of a line. I get up to the kiosk. I sign in. How long do you think it says before my number is going to be called?
26 minutes.
And they do not do numbers anymore. They take your name.
Okay.
So you put your name in.
So you're in queue.
You're in queue.
26 minutes?
No. 2.5 hours.
So you could just leave, go shop, and come back.
Hang on now. That's an interesting thing that you do that. This is why I can't decide if this is absolute torture or ingenious. Because what were we always told in different things, right? Under promise, over deliver. Under promise, over deliver. Greatest thing in the world, right? Mm-hmm. It's going to take me 2.5 hours, and it doesn't.
When you go to a restaurant, about 40 minutes when they cut the time in half. Oh wow, how efficient!
Right. Under promise, over deliver. So 2.5 hours. So I have, because my dad did not sell this car, he just died. So I have a copy of his death certificate, and I have all the other information that I need. And I go up. The guard sometimes, he was answering questions for people. So I said to him, "Hey, do I need anything else? Any other form?" He goes, "I don't know. You'll have to go up to the window." No, but there's a window where you can just walk up and ask a question. So I go up, and a woman says to me, "How can I help you?" I said, I'm trying to register a vehicle. I am next of kin, but is there anything else I need? Because it was for my dad. He's deceased. And she goes, "Oh, yeah, there's another piece of paper you're probably going to have. And I said, "Okay, what is that?" I don't know. Let me go ask somebody.
You think they'd have the answer?
Okay, wait, it gets better. She comes back and she goes, "Yeah, you need to have another piece of paper." I go, "From where?"
Yeah.
She's like, and she looks over and the woman says something like from the estate. She goes, you need another piece of paper from the estate. I go, what exactly is that piece of paper? She's like, what do you mean? You need something from the estate? I go, what is that exactly? I go, you're the DMV. And this is how I said it. I go, yeah, you're the DMV. You're telling me I need this piece of paper and you can't tell me what it is? Like, I didn't yell like that, and she fucking clipped me off. She goes, you're going to have to wait till you get up to the window. So now I'm like, I'm going to be there for 2.5 hours. So I'm already not super thrilled. And I had some other paperwork to fill out. And I'm standing there. And I'm on the phone at this point. I'm going to start taking calls. I'm just running my day. And all of a sudden, I got to go. They just called my name. It was within 20 minutes. Now, to your point, what did you say when I said 2.5 hour wait?
Go shopping, maybe come back.
Right. So
had you done that, you would have missed your turn.
Here's my thing. They text you, because you put in your phone number. Mm-hmm. They text you a link for you to check your status. How many people are doing that? Because they leave and they're driving. They're not doing that. I go, this is either ingenious or it is, maybe I should change it to, it's like, it's great, but it's also pretty cruel. Because you told somebody they have 2.5 hours. Nobody wants to sit around the fucking DMV. No. You don't even make it comfortable. Could you get a fucking cushion on these chairs? Jesus.
Yeah, they got these like hard church pews.
It's like fucking nothing.
When you sit there.
Well, some do. This one didn't, but they're not comfortable. Matter of fact, so when I do get up, now I've got a bunch of things I got to go back and forth. I got to get this. I got to get that. If it's not in my hands, I can go to the car and figure this out. So I say to the woman at one point, hey, can I sit in this chair? She goes, oh, and it's one of the chairs like we sit in here. She goes, no, that's the guard's chair. Do not sit in that chair. I don't know where the guard is. He is nowhere near this chair. But every other chair is, so you don't make it comfortable. You tell people it's 2.5 hours, right? My buddy Joel Lindley, a comic, comes in, all of a sudden he comes in, hey, man, we're talking for a little while. He's helping his girlfriend do some car. And he goes, 2.5 hours, man. I go, don't. He goes, we're just going to go sit in the car. I go, don't. I said, because they call you within, I said, I think it was 20 minutes for me, maybe less. I don't even know. But I'm like, it must be a number of people who just leave. Mm-hmm. That's fucking cruel. And I think it says, if you missed your turn, you got to start over. Like, you got to, like, holy shit.
It's a weed out.
Oh, my God. Right? It's like the cruelest fucking thing. I go, that's why I was torn on it. And I'm like, I'm glad I didn't pull that. I decided, I even brought a book that I have to read for school that I'm a little behind in, so I was going to read that. And it turned out it was great. I was home before the 2.5 hours was even up with new tags on and registration. I felt like
this is the one in Greece?
No, this was the Henrietta one.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
I've been to the Henrietta one too.
I don't go to the West. No, not that I don't go to the West Side. I'm just not traveling that far.
Yeah, you don't want to
I want convenience. That's it. But, I mean, you know, it's faith first control, just like with the diet GLP-1s.
But you got to make sure you have, like, if you're going to the DMV, in a way, you kind of know that you're going to need to carve out some time. Yes. Probably a morning or an afternoon.
Yes. I figured I was going to be there. I was picturing myself, because I didn't get there till closer to 10 o'clock, that I wasn't getting out there till 12:30.
What time do they open? 8?
8:30.
Okay.
12:30 or 1.
Is there a line? When you wouldn't know that because you weren't there yet, but I wonder if there's like a line of people trying to get there.
I would. I absolutely.
It's like trying to get Springsteen tickets. All right, we got a wristband policy in place.
So then now I've decided that I need to make the people who are on the other side of the glass that are helping me, my friends. So
try to win them over.
Well, this one lady.
Seems like you're being generous with your time.
You probably did not see Monsters, Inc., the kids movie. But you do have nieces and nephews.
Yeah, I saw the first 10 minutes of it.
And the lady that was like in charge of the secret people, she was all right, next. And she had the glasses on, but she turned out to be kind of sweet in a way. Like, this lady was like that. She didn't even look up. So, and she's grabbed my papers and she's going through and she's got this. And I think they took my title and didn't give it back. So I don't know if I get a new title. I'm a little concerned about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so, but I know they scooped it up in the paperwork. So she's got a Tim McGraw mouse pad, right? So I go, you like Tim McGraw, huh? Don't you say anything about my husband.
I mean, she likes you.
Yeah, right. So I said, I've seen him a bunch of times. I go,
were you the lady who grabbed his junk and Faith Hill yelled at him? You kind of look like her.
I was at that show. It was a Blue Cross Arena, I think.
Oh, that was here.
I thought there was one here. Yeah.
You don't grab another woman's husband's balls.
Maybe not. I thought it was here. I don't know why I think that. But yes, I had gone. So now I have to go back and fill some other paperwork out. Like I got to do like a next of kin because thank goodness the death certificate said no surviving spouse because my parents are divorced. Mm-hmm. So I was glad because I started to go, well, my mom's still alive. And she goes, wait, the death certificate. I go, great. So now I got to go fill out something else. And I'm over there and she comes up all of a sudden like 5 minutes later and goes, it's my lunch break. When you're done, just go to the window next to mine. She knows she has all your stuff. It's all there. Mm-hmm. She'll take care of you. And that was it. It was like smooth sailing. But, some of the people, I can see why you would get miserable with that job.
Yeah.
I can see why you would get miserable. But anyway, that's my thing. Waiting reveals character. Whether it's with diets, whether it's with sitting at the DMV, life is the DMV, Danny.
Persistence and patience.
Just it. We just don't like the uncertainty of it all.
We're always in a hurry. Just got to take every day in.
We will take a moment. Do you ever know somebody who traded one vice for another vice to get off the first vice? And they're really vices.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We will get into that right after this. Ever look at your wall and think, that hole definitely wasn't there yesterday? Or maybe your faucet's got a drip that's slowly driving you into madness. That's when you got to call my buddies at Mac of All Trades because it's your home. And if you don't have the skills to fix it yourself, go to the people who do. And trust me, there's nobody better than Mac of All Trades. They do everything. Leaky faucet, they got it. Drafty windows and doors, done. Electrical, plumbing, carpentry, sure. Full kitchen or bathroom remodel, oh yeah, they'll do that too. From patching the hole that someone made by definitely not slamming the door to transforming your entire space. Mac of All Trades gets it done quickly and the right way. Stop putting up with cold drafts and half-finished to-do lists. Give them a call at 585-202-9218 or find them online at macofalltrades.net. Get started on that to-do list today. Mac of All Trades. No job too small. My phone updated its operating system the other day.
On its own?
Yeah, and I always decline, and then I guess it's got cool stuff. I don't spend any time looking at it. I should, but it made me think like there's a story that sort of inspired this part of the conversation here, but I think as human beings, a lot of us don't eliminate vices. We just upgrade our operating system. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'll try this now. And it's a weird thing. I've always been a fan of Billy Idol. I remember like in high school and stuff, a lot of my buddies went to see him in concert and shit. My friend Jeff Koch, I think, was in an elevator with him in Albany and like at the same hotel or whatever. And he's like, fucking Billy Idol. And Billy reaches out, like reaches up because he's a little guy, goes, ah, and then leaves. But Billy Idol went on Bill Maher's podcast, Club Random, which is an interesting listen if you've ever had the opportunity. And he said that he got off heroin by smoking crack. And I was like, sure, I get it. Because I think in like 1984, I mean, Billy Idol, there's a documentary that's coming out. I think it's going to be, I don't know how wide the release will be, but the documentary, if it's not, it may already be out.
I'm so behind the documentaries I want to watch right now.
Yeah. And I know what you mean. Right?
It's literally like I have to wait for my wife to go on a vacation on her own to catch up on all the documentaries I want to watch.
Well,
because we can't agree to, she won't watch documentaries.
Oh.
I think they're, even in music.
Yeah.
And I think they're fascinating.
Well, they give you some good information.
Yeah.
I would also say that, like anything, there may be somebody who's like bent on telling this side of a story. They're storytellers.
Yes.
And
they all do have their own perspective.
Well, there may be. And that's all. That's the only thing.
You have to take them with a grain of salt.
This one is called Billy Idol Should Be Dead. And I fucking love the title. And I love Billy Idol. And I go, that's amazing. But, I mean, Billy Idol was heroin. Like, he left the band X, came to the United States to start his solo career. And man, he just talked about, and the article I read had him talking to the Associated Press and the New York Times and People Magazine. He had come here and he said his drug use ramped up as his popularity did. But then he got into heroin and he said, I didn't always shoot it. I usually snorted it. And then I don't know why. So heroin was bad, but then the crack, which is basically freebasing cocaine, is like amazing. Then he had that motorcycle accident that, was like, because I forget, I think his Eyes Without a Face, or I don't remember what the song is, but the video on MTV, all you saw was Billy Idol, like he was inside picture frames, like walking down the hall and stuff like that. And the reason is he couldn't really stand at the time because, matter of fact, I am pretty sure.
Was it White Wedding? That doesn't matter.
I don't know. I am pretty sure that Billy Idol was up for a role in Terminator 2, and because of the motorcycle accident, he couldn't do the required running. I'm almost positive that that's a real thing.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened. And I haven't listened to Bill Maher's podcast. If it comes out on that, I wouldn't be surprised. But, I mean, he even said here, like, I'm lucky I've kept a brain because some people went brain dead and some people ended up in jail forever. And I think here he was talking to the Associated Press, and he said, imagine if it was today, if I was doing what I was back then today, I would be dead because I would have run into fentanyl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Right. But it's like we got this thing in our brain. We want stimulation and reward. And so, and I've been told that the heroin high is the most euphoric high ever. And then after that, you just keep tracing that feeling. And that's where a lot of people kind of lose their stuff. But I go, Billy Idol's heroin to crack. And I'm thinking, I know people who have traded vices, bad eating for
like smoking. Yeah, that's the most common one.
Well, the bad eating for smoking,
yes.
or vice versa. Or
right.
vice versa. Yeah. I got to stop smoking, so then I eat badly, and I put on a lot of weight. So
these are baked, not fried.
I'm not going to do a GLP-1. I'm going back to cigarettes.
Hey, look, I switched from Ruffles to Triscuits, and I got to tell you, man, this has been great.
Well, it's like I don't know, and then. Billy Idol says that he's California sober now. I'm not California sober. I think is where you.
Is that like Buffalo sober?
Like that movie? Yeah. No, I think California sober is like where you don't do anything but you do weed.
Okay.
Or maybe you dabble a little bit in drugs, but you don't. Maybe you don't drink.
Could be. I don't know.
I don't know what California sober. It just sounds like it was made by some surfer dude. Goes, hey man, here's a way to get sober.
Hey, let's put this in a movie.
You know what I mean? It's a drug rehab designed by a surfer. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going, is Billy Idol the only guy who could ever say, I got clean by doing crack? He's 70. He's still alive.
I know.
Billy Idol should be dead.
Well, it's amazing. Well, Keith Richards is the ultimate example.
I know.
And then you got the guy, Bob Weir, who was like in his 80s, was a health nut.
Yeah.
And ended up dying.
Well.
But I mean, like, once you cross 80, I think.
He was 79.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was there.
When you get up there, all bets are off. It could be a lot of things.
All bets are off, sure, I guess. But you try to do your best to do whatever. But then sometimes, disease and things gets in there. I was thinking of another one. Porn in place of promiscuity.
They call them incels, guys who can't get laid.
Yeah.
So they just watch porn and JO.
Yeah.
And so that's how they
No, but I'm saying, let's say you were a very promiscuous person.
Oh, instead of going out,
and maybe you found somebody, but you always have that little bit of an urge, like it's like the heroin.
Mm-hmm.
It's the vagina.
I mean, I'm sure that there's like lots of we worked with a guy, Tommy, who told us that in England, there used to be a health tip put together by the government that says, trade Guinness for whiskey.
Yeah,
it was considered a health tip.
Yeah.
Why? Because it had less calories. Right?
Yeah.
So, but that's like, it's like trading. Yeah, but you're trading one evil
for another.
Not one evil. Yeah, one evil for another.
Yeah. Partying. All of a sudden now, I'm not going to the clubs. I'm not hanging out with this crowd anymore. I become a CrossFit junkie. That's my new party crowd.
But I mean,
healthier, but I mean,
I think that people who rip on people, because there's a crowd of people who do this, right? People who trade a bad vice for a good habit, like working out or Christianity or faith or something. There's a group of people who say, oh, you're just trading one addiction for another. Yeah. No, you're actually like upgrading your life. One is healthy, one isn't.
I agree.
I don't think that's like a vice necessarily. It may be, but I mean, if you have an addictive personality, you may as well channel that into something that's positive, that's good, that's reinforcing, not something that is destructive.
No, I hear what you're saying. But then there's always, like with any addiction, sometimes there's the fall from grace. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, relapse.
Yeah, relapse. But yes, I will say that. Here's something that'll probably get me another scolding from a listener. I'm not a big believer that addiction is a disease.
I'm with you on that one.
And I don't mean to sound mean to anybody. Whatever's going to make your life better. You have a loved one that's going through some stuff, and you want to call it a disease, and they're trying to get help, fine. It doesn't matter. I'm just looking at this more like clinically, sort of. I think it's a mask for something else. There's a lot of pain, a lot of trauma somewhere in your life that you're avoiding because this is wonderful escape. You don't think about anything when you're high. You know what I mean? You can't. You laugh, you feel good, your body feels good, you say things that are funny if you're drinking, you know what I mean? Depending on what you're using. And I think that becomes like the mask for the real pain. And so when somebody goes from partying to the gym, or all of a sudden somebody becomes like uber Christian, like almost like feels like they're overdoing it to a certain extent. Like, oh, they weren't there 3 months ago and now they're baptized and they're handing out the pamphlets. It does feel like you're not dealing with whatever the issue is. You found something else to mask that pain, to keep you away from the pain, right? It keeps me away from the pain, except for those quiet moments. And that's where I think a lot of times when it's just you and your thoughts, that's where I think a lot of people stumble. And that's where things like rehab and any cognitive stuff that you get through there is wonderful. And it can help people. And it has helped people. It's proven. You know, even the 12-step program, it worked. Right? It worked.
Yes. So
that's fine. It's probably the biggest group therapy you're ever going to see anywhere. And it's open. Anybody can go in. But that's my thought on it. Think I'm wrong?
Yeah, you don't like wake up one morning and go, you know what, man? I've never done this, but I feel like the urge to smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. I just feel like smoking. I think I got this urge. No, yeah. It's an acquired taste addiction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's an acquired taste. And if you have that personality, you can get hooked. Okay. But let's not call it a disease necessarily. Can we examine the person first?
And we judge the vice, right? We judge the vice and we say these things, but we don't look at the underlying hunger of it.
Right.
What is that hunger, that thing what void are you trying to fill? And by the way, I think there's sex addicts. I really do. I think there's people who could be just like in the hunt. And I don't know what that is. It's like, is it power? Is that what it is in some way that I can influence someone to sleep with me and then move on to someone else and then move on to someone else? Or sleep with me for a while and then I get bored and, I'm going to go somewhere else. And I don't know. I have no idea. And that's where I go, well, then if you trade it for porn, well, at least you don't have the guilt that comes with the other one. And you don't necessarily feel bad about yourself. And a lot of times, maybe you're staying out of places that you're also inebriated or whatever.
But that also leads to another set of problems.
Yes.
Altogether.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I think that I don't like when, I think there's an underlying cause for everything. There always will be. We're human. We're flawed. Okay.
Well,
so where
true.
are you going to channel your inner aggression or inner rage or what's your outlet, right? And It could be one of two avenues. It could be destructive or productive, right? And so I'm a believer in net time, no extra time. In other words, now I don't have, let me put it this way. I don't have kids, so I could get away with a lot more of this. But I think spending time with your kids is always quality time.
Well,
but
yeah,
my point is, like,
time in the bar.
In other words, when you're not sleeping, you're doing something productive.
Yes.
You're like, I have a tough time just sitting down and just watching television. I got to be doing something. I feel productive. You know, that's just me. And then when I feel like I've earned the right to watch a television show, then I'll do that.
You get a little reward.
Right. Yeah. You know, and once you've accomplished that goal, you reward yourself immediately. But something that's not destructive. And I don't like because I think losers are the ones who say, you just traded one vice for another. No, I don't think that's the case. We all are prone to some type of addiction.
Well, go back.
Choose your pain.
Go back to what I said before. We don't eliminate vices. We just upgrade our operating system, but that would be an upgrade.
Right.
Right. If you went from partying and club hopping and bed hopping to becoming a CrossFit person, okay.
Right.
That's a better thing. You know, I just don't want to hear about it.
Now, here's what happens. Now, the next thing is, okay, because those addictions, like according to people who counsel, and you're heading in that direction, counsel people with addictions problems.
Yeah.
Let's say you're that bed hopping person, womanizer, whatever, then you become the CrossFit person instead, okay? Let's say you're that person. You become Then all of a sudden you got this amazing body, and now more and more women are flocking to you. So now, how do you deal with the fact that all of a sudden
just go home.
now the attraction finds you?
No, but I go home, or
well, that's the thing. I'm just saying, like,
I start fishing in the CrossFit hole.
There you go. Yeah, but it's still like you still have to fight that urge.
Work you out like wall jumps, bitch.
You have to kill that flesh every single day.
Yeah,
it's a daily battle.
Right.
It's a daily battle.
Yeah. Here's something else, because you sort of touched on it with Keith Richards. You've got, how do some people survive such reckless lives, and other people are dead at 28 and maybe didn't even live a reckless life?
I've been thinking about that for a while.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's a very, very weird thing. Because, and I'm sure, like, that's where I go, people must get very, very upset about that. But, you know, one guy gets to party for 30 years and he's still alive at 70. And it's bad for, look, Billy Idol, I think there were times where he was like turning blue and people saved his life by throwing him like in an ice bath or something like that. I don't fucking know what they did. But he's still here, right? And everything seems to be okay. And yet then there's other people who lived lives that they went to the gym and did all that. And that's where sometimes my stupid head goes, fuck it, I'm just going first. Because where none of us survive, might as well have fun. And that's not always a great choice or thing, but I think about these guys. I go, would you rather have lived this really exciting life that got you to, let's say, 70 or 80? Or do you want to be the guy that was a teetotaler, by the book, led a very boring life, really struggled with his boring life, like didn't want to be, but was just disciplined and regimented, and then you die somewhere around the same age? I go, I'd rather be the other guy. It all
depends on how you want to be remembered.
Well, that's true.
What legacy you want to leave.
I know, but here's the bad part that I was thinking. This is something that I go, fucking Billy Idol, how fucking cool is this guy? How fucking cool is this guy? Almost died a couple times, motorcycle accidents, always that rebellion, always pushing against stuff. And then I go, what if that were my kid? I'd be out of my mind. Yeah, it's always cool when it's somebody else's problem. But I mean, like, Billy Idol, you made it to 70, man, you cool motherfucker, what's going on? Right? And that would be
Billy Idol's parents were probably like scared for him. I mean, if he had parents and they were scared for him.
I don't know.
A lot of rock stars come from these broken homes and they all have these stories.
He said there was I think it was him that said there was a lot of tragedy early in his life. I don't know. I want to see this documentary. Billy Idol should be dead. Could be good.
It sounds incredibly fascinating.
Well, it does, because you're seeing somebody who, I mean, a lot of Billy Idol's songs, actually, when he sang a ballad, he sounded pretty good. He could, you know.
Oh, yeah. He had a hit about 10 years ago. I was like, this is Billy Idol? It was on like a local station like PXY.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was like it was on a pop station.
I don't know.
But it all depends on your motivation. Like, what is motivating you? What do you want to be remembered for? What is getting you up in the morning? What is it? What is motivating you?
Yeah.
For me, it's like, I'm going to face Jesus someday.
I know. But see, that's you. And Billy Idol's like, yeah, I'm going to face him too. But right now, I'm going to do a line off a hooker's ass, a groupie's tits. I don't know. I mean,
but do you feel fulfilled after that?
No, you don't feel fulfilled. You do in the moment. Stop asking stupid questions. You know the answer.
But you're the guy who like gets into philosophical discussions about that.
Yes, I'm teasing you.
Yeah.
I'm teasing you. Well, yes. Look.
I go by Ric Flair. Ric Flair said they asked him how many women he was with, and he gave the number. And it was a huge number. I don't remember. He goes, "Ain't that terrible?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "That's not a happy thought."
Yeah.
He goes, "I can't go to bed alone, and that's not a happy thought."
Yeah. Okay. Well, then what's driving
This is the guy who was called the man more than any other guy.
But what's driving that, right? What's driving,
Ric Flair's original name was Fred Phillips. He was adopted. He was stolen. He was adopted, but he was stolen.
Yeah.
He had no desire.
He was stolen.
I think he was like stolen. Like, in other words, he was one of those like babies on the black market.
What?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. What? When? Wait a second. You got to get him on this podcast. Okay. I need to have this conversation.
If you can get him on, like, he'd probably charge an arm and a leg.
Oh,
he goes through that money like whiskey. Believe me.
But Ric Flair was stolen.
I think he was stolen. His original name was Fred Phillips.
Okay, this sounds like an accountant.
His brother, actually, his biological brother, reached out to him and he wanted nothing to do with him. He was Richard Fleer. He was adopted.
Okay,
and I don't know if that had something to do with it. But you want to talk about a guy who should have been dead by now many times.
Yeah.
Ric Flair is like the Keith Richards of wrestling. Oh, by the way, in the physical toil
on your body.
Yeah. It's like playing 7 football games a week.
I get that.
300 days a year. But I mean, people have come out. In fact, after the first document, so ESPN did the 30 for 30 on him, and he didn't like what was said about him in his own documentary. So he went to NBC or Peacock, and then they did another one, which was more favorable to Ric Flair.
All right.
Okay. But even his own son-in-law, who tried doing a podcast with him, goes, "I can't even work with my own father-in-law. I can't do it."
Well, is it because he's
just all over the place? He's just always got to be drinking. He's always got to be partying. He's always got to be on the go.
Yeah.
Right. And if you've seen Ric Flair, like he don't look good. Yeah. Okay, but he's still alive and he's still with it. But the thing about Rick was that like guys like Triple H and Shawn Michaels said, I don't think Ric Flair and Richard Fleer have ever had a conversation.
Oh,
in other words, he's lived this gimmick for so long, he doesn't know who he really is.
Well, I would say that sounds like it's a lifelong thing. I'll just throw this out there. I don't want to upset anybody, but there's a lot of trauma in babies. Like, babies suffer trauma, and the one thing that you're supposed to do as a parent is make them realize it's okay to cry for no reason. Like, don't, you know what I mean? And that when we try to quiet a baby, we're actually going against their natural adjustment system. And we're trying to get them to sort of conform, and that's not a good thing to be doing. Like, where you pick up, shh, that kind of thing. Because the message is being sent, whether or not we believe they can actually get it, it's being proven that it can. But here's where I was going to go. One of the things that is considered trauma, and you need, like, if you have a child come in and you need to do you got to get a background, is adoption. It's considered a trauma.
And I could see that.
And you feel so bad because...
But it beats the alternative.
100%. 100%. And that's the thing is, like, I hesitated to even say this because... it sounds like, well, they're babies. They don't even speak. They don't remember this. Trauma is in your nervous system. It's not in your brain. Right. It's in your nervous system, and it can be there forever and ever and ever. And a lot of times we don't know that. And so with babies, you can think, they'll get over it. You don't remember that. But it goes in your nervous system. So, and it is that separation from the parent. Now, it doesn't mean the primary caregiver couldn't be an adopted mom or even an adopted dad. It doesn't mean that at all. You just have to really, it's just another step. You got to be more consistent and a little more aware. I was unaware of any of this, but I'm reading this book and I was like, wow. And I know people who have put a child up for adoption, and I know people who have been adopted, and I would never want to make them feel badly about any of that stuff because and they're probably going, you're full of shit. But maybe, I don't know. I'm just telling you that there are these theories out there that have been studied, and that's one of them. And as you said, it kind of makes sense if you think about it. Not having given a child up for adoption and not having been adopted, I have no idea, but I'm with you. There's a lot of times where a kid, it's better than an orphanage, better than, if for some people abortion is a terrible thing. And so this is a way, right? And I don't like saying it because I have known people who tried so hard to have a child biologically, and they couldn't do it. So they adopted because they just had so much love. They wanted to love these kids. And that's all they wanted to do. They just want to be a loving parent.
That's cool.
Yes, I agree. But you don't want to tell them, by the way, just spitballing here. It might be some trauma in that child because you adopted him, right? Nobody wants to fucking hear that. I was like, oh my God, this almost feels like something I need to keep secret. But it is
to me, I think it's kind of like it goes without saying. I don't know. Maybe I've talked to too many adopted people. But the common thread is that, my parents gave me up.
It very well. Boy, and just that alone, right? To say it in that way sounds pretty bad. Who wants to be rejected before they even had a chance to have a personality?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's tough. That's really tough. I haven't talked to enough adopted people in that manner, to say, but is
that going to be your next project?
It would be an interesting study. I'll tell you that. It would be a really interesting study for sure, because I know of people who have found their biological parents later on and have built really wonderful relationships with the biological parent. And I do wonder if in some way, just going with the theory that the trauma's in the nervous system, was there always this wondering, like, I don't really fit in here, or I don't really look like them, or I don't, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, so why am I here and what happened? Who did not want me?
Right.
Because how else can you say it?
And then on the flip side, I was told that in the 60s or the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, when you adopted a child, they would put you in a family that looked most like you. They wanted families to look alike. So if you were Italian, they put you in I'm not joking, they would put you in an Italian family. Uh-huh. If you were Irish or redheaded, they would put you in a family that looked kind of like you.
Now, what if I was a redheaded Italian? Because I had a friend who was a redheaded Italian.
I know a couple. Yeah. From the north.
Yeah, Chris Bartolomeo, who was a redheaded Italian. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I get why people would do that. So then there wouldn't be questions or all that stuff. You know what I mean? I always love, who is the comic? This is terrible, but we have a friend who adopted a child that was not of the same race as them, right? Mm-hmm. And this comic goes, yeah, man, anytime a kid has one of those meltdowns on the playground and you're, or you're in the mall and they just wanted the ice cream and they're screaming and yelling, they're crying, and you just scoop them up and just start running for the door. I always think I'm going to get tackled by security because I'm of a different race. And it just made me laugh. Because you can see, right? And there's so much judgment about fucking everything. We all got opinions on stuff.
My grandfather, there's a very famous story in my family about my grandfather. He would drink wine all the time. Made it himself, grew his own grapes, made his own wine. Sunday dinner comes around. The whole family's around. This is before I was born.
Okay.
So I had a cousin named Vito.
Yeah.
He was adopted. He was Italian, but he's adopted. So he's asking my grandfather, so Grandpa, where are we from? Grandpa, so what is this? By the third question, I think my grandfather just wanted to keep drinking. He goes, well, what do you care? You're adopted. Grandma said the whole family went to bed angry that night.
Was he?
Yeah, my cousin told me this story. He goes, oh my gosh, we were all. We were embarrassed for him.
Was the person adopted?
Yeah, he was adopted.
Okay, but he didn't know.
Oh, he knew.
Oh, he did know.
Knew. But the point is that, you don't, what do you care? You're adopted.
Yeah.
Like, you're not one of us.
You're not one of us. You're an outsider.
He knew he was adopted. That wasn't the issue. It was the way my grandfather handled it.
But how about...
I'm tired of answering your questions. I just want to drink my wine and watch Barney Miller.
Even in The Godfather, right?
Yeah, Tom Hagen was taken in.
Tom Hagen was taken in. But was he adopted or just taken in?
He was taken in. He wasn't adopted. According to the book...
taken in as a child?
He was taken in as a child. Yes. Sonny knew him, but he kept the same name. Don Corleone did not want him to forget his heritage. So he was, there's even a line that says, "That's easy for you to say, Tom. He's not your father. Yeah, he's as much a father to me as you and Mike."
Yeah, right. Well,
they wanted to avenge his shooting.
Yes.
Remember?
Yeah.
So he wasn't officially adopted, but they took him in.
Right. But and you can see that too. And I think like there are sayings that often say anybody can be a dad, but it takes a real man to be a father. Or something like that. And
any fool with a crank couldn't have a baby, but it takes a man.
Oh man, you self-edited. My goodness. We'll take a moment just since we're on these human vice things. You ever look around and wonder who in the car next to me and what are they on? Did you ever? No, I'm serious. You ever? Like, who's in the car next to me and what are they on? Just out of curiosity.
Not what are they on, but like, what's going on?
Okay.
I've wondered what's going on.
Okay. All right. We'll get into that right after this. If the new year has you saying, I did not sign up for this, like a workers' comp case, Social Security disability, or a personal injury claim, don't try to Google lawyer your way through it. Go to Connors and Ferris. They have offices in Buffalo, New York City, Syracuse, and Rochester, and they'll get back to you within 24 hours. Yeah. So even when you're stress scrolling at 2 a.m., you can call 262-COMP, tell them a little bit about what's going on in your life, and within 24 hours, one of their attorneys will get back to you. You'll talk to real lawyers who will explain things in plain English, not legal mumbo-jumbo. Workers' comp, Social Security disability, personal injury, complicated? Absolutely. Something you should handle alone? Nope. Connors and Ferris, experienced, responsive, and committed to serving you better. Call 262-COMP. Help's available right now. Friend just sent me somebody just sent me Darth Vader holding a Guinness, and it says, "Hello, darkness, my old friend."
They're making T-shirts.
Well, I just bought.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, but I bought I was debating for a while. Like, I go, this is unhealthy. Then I'm debating. Do I get the black shirt or do I get the green shirt? So I thought, I'm really only going to wear it for St. Patrick's Day. Because it's kind of like silly while you're walking around with a "Hello, darkness, my old friend." I mean, it's funny. It's a conversation piece. So I did buy the green one. And he sent it to me, and I said, I just bought a shirt for St. Patrick's Day with that saying. He goes, I do listen, fuck. I go, oh, yeah, I forgot. I forget what I say, and you know what I mean? It's been like that my whole life. Sometimes I don't know what I've said on the air, off the air, right when we were in radio.
Yeah.
Conversations, I had no idea. But we're talking about like we talked about the DMV, we talked about GLPs, right? We talk about
covered all the acronyms.
Billy Idol, and all his vices, and he's still alive at 70. Billy Idol should be dead.
Well, but they tell you when you get off heroin, they put you on methadone.
Yeah,
that's the next level down.
Yeah,
so maybe crack was the
I don't
maybe
know.
He was out of something.
But even that's addictive.
Of course it is.
I mean, freebasing cocaine is fairly similar to crack. I think the rock has crystallized. The other may be something else, but that's how Richard Pryor burned himself up pretty badly.
Isn't that how like Ricky Nelson died? They were freebasing cocaine on the plane.
Yeah,
they caught fire and the plane crashed. I learned my lesson well.
I should not laugh at that. That's so terrible.
Can't please everyone. So ow!
Yeah.
Oh gosh! What are we doing?
But did you ever sit at a red light and look around and go, I wonder how sober everybody in the other cars really are at this moment?
Sobriety.
Well, you know what I mean?
Not at the red light. When I see him like driving back and forth in between lanes and stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Then yes.
Okay.
Or like if it's snowing out, but and people decide, no, they're in a hurry.
But if you got somebody who's like grip the wheel, they're just straight ahead. I always go.
With the Coke bottle glasses?
Well, not the Coke bottle glasses. Yes. Well, I've
seen those too.
Yeah, that's somebody who shouldn't probably
10 and 2.
Which isn't accurate, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be 10. But I always, and then you look over at somebody else and you go, either they just left yoga or a felony. because they're sweaty, stringy. You know what I mean? They're like, and I can never tell. And the reason I bring this up is there was a headline where I read that a lady had a headlight out. They pull her over. She had like expired license or something. So now they search the car and they find like a ton of meth and a ton of cocaine and other stuff. And I go, you never know who you're on the road with. You could be on the road with the family that's going to Wegmans. And you could be on the road with someone who's delivering meth and cocaine somewhere. And you are on the road with those people. You just know. I remember at like 5 o'clock, because since we worked odd hours, we never really were on the road when there was real traffic.
Right.
Right? You missed those.
Remember when Alex did the traffic reports for us? And she goes, there's no traffic on the road today. And you and Tommy opened up. Wait a minute. There's always traffic. As long as there's a car somewhere, there's traffic. Did Tom George hear this?
It's so stupid. We were awful. What she meant was no traffic delays, but she did say no traffic.
No traffic.
There's no
Cars are off the road.
I'm going. Is anybody fucking listening?
This is your turn to try to turn 490 into the Autobahn because nobody is around.
Well, now I have done that on the
inner loop.
No. What is it called out toward the Ontario State Parkway?
Yes.
Is that the Ontario State Parkway
Yes.
out by the lake?
Yes.
I went out there in a guy's Porsche, but it was manual.
Okay.
And I was just fucking flying, and then I needed to come down real quick. And
you got to be careful out there because there's a lot of swampland. You might end up in the drink.
No. I was fine.
Oh, okay.
He just said open it up, so you don't have to tell me twice.
Wasn't it Billy Moran who once said, you're not as good as you think you are?
All the time I say that. All the time. And my sons remind me that I say it to them often. You're not as good as you think you are, Dad. Not as good as I once was. But I always think like human beings are operating with like secret lives.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not. Maybe I shouldn't say secret. That's not.
Are you the person you are at home when you're out in public?
Yeah. Well, right.
Think about the basest form of yourself at home. Yeah. Are you that person in public? Of course not.
No. But I'll change it. Hidden lives.
Okay.
Parts of ourselves that we hide.
Yeah. You don't see me scratching my belly button in public often, but I'll do it at home. Yeah. What's that?
But how normal someone looks versus what they're carrying can be completely surprising and shocking. And I will tell you, the more...
Oh, look at O.J. Simpson.
Right. Perfect example.
Not my O.J.
Perfect example.
Not my O.J. No, he ain't kidding. He ran for 2,000 yards in 1973 as a Buffalo Bill. He didn't kill nobody. I
just saw a comic on TikTok or somewhere. I wish I got this guy's name. And he goes, abortion. I mean, I can see the argument against it, and I can see the argument for it. He goes, let me give you an example. A young woman has a baby, decides to have the baby. Now, I put it up for adoption, but it's like the 1940s. It's the late 1940s. And, she does, this baby is born, and is grown up, and it becomes like an amazing athlete, and it sets all kinds of records, goes to the NFL, and has all kinds of records, and then afterwards becomes very popular as a sportscaster. It gets onto movies, it gets onto all that stuff, and you're going, yeah, this is why you shouldn't have abortion. Oh. But that person turned out to be O.J. Simpson. And he goes, and then I kind of go, well, had we had the abortion, we wouldn't have had any of these problems. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Which is terrible, but it's a funny joke. And what I think sometimes is the greatest thing about comedy is that you can show our flawed selves or even our flawed thinking if you do it well. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or taking two things that just wouldn't be together and you just gotta, join them together in some way. I just think that sometimes comedy can be the greatest teacher. of things, or even the greatest lesson in ourselves. God, I think that way. I should probably take a look at why I'm that way, but that was funny. Like, no, I'm really glad. Well, it turned out to be O.J. Simpson. Son of a bitch. You know what I mean? And so, right. I mean, look, how rare is that? It's a very, 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 very a rare thing. Here's the reason I asked this question. This lady gets popped, right? Okay, big deal. Not the first time, not going to be the last time. Well, what I wonder is, and you brought this up with like the GLP-1s, and what did you say about GLP-1s and the pharmaceutical company?
They want to keep you hooked for life.
Okay. So I look at, and I better living through chemistry, right? Now, sometimes it's a tool. If you are a person.
Mark McGuire, Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds.
Ask for forgiveness later.
Barry Bonds.
It's got a dorsal fin.
Nice. It's the fucking joke. Right. But okay. So if these, and some of them I'll say are tools. Let's say you're somebody who's, you got a bad temper, quick temper, and it hasn't served you well for a while. Don't look at me like that. And
you're the only person in the room, Billy.
Don't look at me like that. And let's say they put you on a low dose of SSR1, or what do they call them?
Yes, serotonin reuptake inhibitors.
Okay.
SSRIs.
SSRI. Thank you.
It's you're taking the master's class in mental health.
SSRI.
And I'm telling you, well, I've just been on this stuff, so I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did it help?
Yes.
And it gives you a little bit of a cushion to actually absorb something before you react to it.
Yes.
Which is always better.
Not for temper, but for other stuff. Yes.
For whatever. But I'm saying for someone who's got a quick temper, that could be anything. And that's better living through chemistry. That's great. I don't even call it that. I would say that's a tool to help you be the best you could be.
Yes.
No, nothing wrong with that. But then there's some of these other things where, like, it's pain medication and you probably really needed it and maybe you get addicted to it. But I go, but you're getting behind the wheel of the fucking car and sharing the road with me. And what I started to say earlier was when you and I were not on the roads at the time of traffic, and then you brought up Alex. I remember being, like, not far from where we're sitting right now at a traffic light just around 5 o'clock. And I looked to my right, and there is a guy drinking a beer, plain as day. He probably was more sober than anybody leaving a bar. And by the way, a lot of people go, if you have that third drink, leave immediately, because it's going to take a while to get in your system. And if you get pulled over, you'll probably blow under and you can keep going home and recover. But this guy it's illegal to drink and drive. And he was drinking a beer in plain sight. I remember looking at, like, I had to do a double take. He was behind me. It was in my rearview mirror. I went, what the fuck? And I had to see I think it was emulsion. And I was like, holy shit. Right. And you go,
I think I've actually seen people driving on the way to the podcast, like those big 40 ounces in the car. I think I've told you about it. Like the first year we were doing the podcast, like 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. Guys drinking one of those pounder cans.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah. Driving a minivan.
And by the way,
it wasn't Kevin.
It's probably no worse than drinking a Diet Coke in terms of distractibility. And I would assume that's the first one, so they're not drunk.
Yeah.
Right? So you would get it for open container, and that would just usurp everything, even whatever your BAC is. I don't know, unless you have a really good attorney who could probably argue that. I have no idea. But I do wonder with, like, all the pharmaceutical companies, as you said, want to get you hooked on something. So now you need whatever it is, or we don't know. People doc shop.
Yes,
I need this, and I need this, and the 2 doctors or 3 doctors, whatever, don't know what else you're on.
By the way, they could mail it to you now too. Go to Roman.
Yeah.
Get your boner pills.
Yeah.
Go to Hims.
Right.
Do you have a history of depression? Yes. You might want to try this. Okay. Sign me up. Great.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Right. And it might be, I don't know. Maybe it's okay. I have no idea. I'm not trying. I'm just saying, like, I just wonder when I look around, I go, we got a phone in there.
Mm-hmm.
And you also could be on something. I think I just want to get home.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I just want to get
Please.
home. It's like fucked up. Mm-hmm. It's fucked up. And it
happens more than you think or more than you want to believe. And by the grace of God, they're staying between the lines.
Yes.
Usually.
Yes. Right. Or a lot of time. Right. Exactly. And that was all. Or, people now with weed, some people just
that's
take a little gummy
thing.
and they're doing 35 in a.
Well, Meghan McCain came out yesterday, John McCain's daughter.
Yeah.
And she used to be on The View, of course. And she says she regrets pushing for the legalization of marijuana because of that very reason.
Really?
That now we have created a generation of zombies, but we can't tell if because you could smell alcohol in somebody. Hey, you been drinking?
Oh, you can smell weed. Well,
you can smell weed.
Smoking.
You can't oh gosh,
a gummy. You can't,
dude. I went to Wegmans the other day. I'm standing in the checkout aisle, like the 5 items or less, and dude, I could smell the weed.
Okay, on people? Did you? Now here's the thing. Now you got to turn that into a game. You got to guess before you find the person. You got to guess what they're buying.
Oh, that'll be a great game.
Right? If you smell the weed and you're at a grocery store, you got to guess what's in that person's cart. You got to look. It's got to be like, Doritos, and it's got to be some kind of pizza logs, anything that's quick and easy. Hey, man.
Oh, yeah. Definitely
right?
Cheetos.
I mean, that would be the thing.
Something you put in the microwave. By the way, I got told by a guy over the weekend how much he misses what you're doing at the courthouse. And the funeral home game with the tanning beds, and the Christmas songs, the Waffle Houses, Dan, because nobody does that stuff anymore.
Well, now
not in this area.
No, I understand. And somebody mocked us. Somebody mocked us. Somebody brought up the podcast on a radio show at one point.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Here in town.
Yes. Just relax.
Go on.
I'm aware of these things.
Okay.
And they said, oh, yeah, still doing bits from 20 years ago. And I was like, well, maybe they got a point. I never said anything to anybody because it didn't really bother me. It just made me think. It did. It made me think. And I thought, well, maybe that's not what's there. But they're funny. And you know what? Fuck it. I think we bring it back.
People like it.
Yeah.
It was funny. It worked.
Now, I'll ask you. You don't really have time to do it.
I'll make time to do it. Dude, I will make time.
No, don't.
We got to get a burner phone, though, for the tanning bed bit and the Waffle House bit.
Okay.
But what you're doing at the courthouse, I could do that at any time. I got to carve out some time in my day.
Now, see, here's the problem, because it would be you and I in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to know whether they're going to, do we want to do it live?
Yeah, so I would.
You're thinking the tanning bed live?
What?
You're thinking the tanning bed's live?
Yes. Because when we tape, that's when women are tanning. Somebody's at that tanning bed, the Golden Tans in the South.
Yeah.
How's the tanker rag? How can I help you? It's Golden Tans.
Now, I have family members that own a tanning salon. And I think they're going away for a while. It would be funny to fuck with whoever's still there.
Yeah, we look up the funeral home in town like we used to. Then we look up the tanning bed. And we missed an opportunity with that because with Golden Tans, they painted on you. There's no way we
came up with this idea.
No, you didn't come up with. Somebody else did. Okay. No, you did.
No, but there's no way that it came up sober. Whoever came up with it.
You came up with the idea.
I don't think so. I'm with you.
It wasn't Tommy. It was you or me.
Yeah.
Or you got it from somebody.
Well, what I'm saying is wherever the idea originated, I'm not looking for credit. That wasn't my point. Or even, I'm just saying it couldn't have come from a sober human. Could it? Who the fuck thinks like that?
No, nobody.
Yeah. That's all
somebody
I'm saying.
with ADHD. I don't know.
Right. Somebody with a lot of emotional baggage who's no longer drinking and just looking for an escape. We're going to fuck with people and call the court. I'm willing to do that. I'll get a burner phone.
All right.
I'll get a burner phone. We could do that.
Our makeup artist is out sick.
I have a whole system. Oh,
our makeup Yvonne is dead, and we need to get the body some color.
We need to get the body some color. Can we put it in there? Yeah, you can bring it around back, but make it like a half hour. Remember they used to say that? Yeah. They would say that. I'd be willing to do that. Like, what if we did it monthly?
Yes.
Not every time we're together.
Because we can't do it.
But like once a month.
Yeah.
Once a month, we do one or the other. I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
And here, what kind of jack is in your phone? You have a different. What do you got?
Yeah, I have an Android.
You got Is it the same thing as this though?
No.
Oh.
No.
Because I have wireless mics that the receiver goes into your phone.
Oh, yeah. No, I have the same jack. I have a different, well, I think the iPhone's a little bit different, but that's okay. We can figure it out.
Same,
Power.
Yeah. Well, either way, I have 2 sets from when before iPhone switched everything. They did buy more, and then I just bought other ones, and I love them.
Customer for life.
I use them all the time, so they're great. Let's do it once a month.
Okay.
Once a month, we bring back What You Doing at the Courthouse. The following month, we would do the tanning bed.
Tanning bed game, and then the Waffle House.
Oh.
The Waffle House is more of a holiday thing, though.
What was the Waffle House?
I would sing Christmas carols, and they'd have to bet whether we'd finish them or not.
Yeah.
I'll have a blue. It was Juice. Juice was telling like one of our buddies, oh man, because he moved to town after like you were no longer part of that show, and he was telling about all the stuff we did. Oh, the sting in the park.
Yeah.
With like in Genesee Valley.
I got to tell you, that was a big one. That was kind of an eye opener for me. Yeah, I felt really bad, and I think I told my kid about that, and he's like, "Why would you feel bad?" He goes, "That guy could be, fucking his family and all that." And I'm like, "Yeah, but what you're not seeing is why is he doing it? He's unfulfilled in some way, and always probably has been a closeted homosexual who now you're right. This is all built on." There's a whole family that come crashing down. Grandpa's gay.
Juice told me that he worked with a guy who he got caught in Genesee Valley Park. And the reason they caught him was because each of the cars have like a tracking system.
Yeah. What?
Apparently, yeah.
Oh, at the work.
And so he goes, yeah, I took a shortcut. And they looked at the map. They go, there's no shortcut. There's no customers in that area. Oh. And then they looked and they found the sheets in the back of the car or the back of the truck.
Well, yeah. What we're talking about is there was we found out that there was down low hookups happening in the area parks, and people would back in to indicate that they were.
They turn their like cruising lights on,
right? Mm-hmm. And
I'm ready.
So we decided we would go, and we would, because we saw a lot of this on Craigslist, people talking about their hookups in the park, and we decided. Who was going to be hotter, me or Tommy? and the way we would determine who was hotter is
who can attract the most dudes.
Who can either attract the most or who would get somebody the fastest. And a shirtless guy rolled up on a bicycle to Tommy. It
was like 35 degrees out.
Yeah.
Like there was like little snow pellets.
He was not shirtless. He was in a short sleeve shirt.
He was in a short sleeve shirt and spandex, bike spandex.
Yeah, right. Just looking to get his rocks off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then another guy hit on Phil.
And that's the guy that always I felt bad about, because that guy because Phil said to him, I'm waiting for my wife. He goes, hey, want to take a walk? And it was an older gentleman. Mm-hmm. Would you like to take a walk in the woods? Would you like to take, it sounds so fucking creepy. Would you like to take a walk? Because they had paths and stuff. And Phil said, oh, no. He goes, I'm married. And he held up his hand like that to show the ring. And the other guy, the older man, goes,
so am I.
So am I. And then Phil said, no, my wife's on her way. We're going to walk the dogs in the park. Which I thought was like really quick thinking on his part, because I think some people might get really nervous. But that was, I remember because I saw the guy. I think I was watching Phil.
Yeah, you were like perched up top.
Yeah, I was somewhere. Because I watched this whole thing, and I remember seeing
you were taping it.
Was I?
Yes. You were taping. We had to take the video down because people got upset.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Really?
JT made us take the video. He thought it was brilliant, but he made us take the video down. We put it on the website because Phil goes, listen to CMF expose some gays on Tuesday. So the label on the website made it sound like, we were like just bashing people for being gay. That wasn't it. We were talking about finding people undercover.
Yes.
At Genesee Valley Park.
No, we weren't even trying to expose.
No, not even exposing people.
Wait, there was my camera? Was that
you had like one of those special before you could tape with your cell phone, they had these special cameras that we were able to use, handheld cameras. You were able to tape stuff. You were able to tape 30 minutes of video, and you were taping Phil getting picked up.
Right.
And then you drove by Phil and gave him a thumbs up like you were proud of him, and then drove off because you lived around the corner. And Phil said,
I guess Genesee Valley. I was over in Pittsburgh. I don't remember.
This was in the Pittsford area. This was in.
It was.
Yeah, because we were doing
powder
different
mills.
Yeah, we were doing different parks.
I used to go running through there, and I would see people with powder mills. All right, but the point was, I wasn't to expose anybody or even make fun of them. It was honestly to see because I always said you should be flattered if someone of the same sex hits on you. Because that's like real flattery, right? You kind of know. Mm-hmm. And remember, there was the kid upstairs who said I was his older man crush.
Yeah.
Which he was in the military. He
was in the military, and then they did a bit where he was going to massage somebody in the was it Moose or somebody with KY jelly or something.
Okay, yeah. And then he came in and
he told you were his crush.
Yeah. You're my older man crush is what he said. Yeah. And he was And I said, I'm flattered. And I think everybody thought I was going to get super uncomfortable and stuff because I had talked about being molested or whatever. And shit. But right. I wasn't uncomfortable at all. I actually found it flattery. So when we went out to the park, it wasn't to necessarily mock. I guess you could, in some way, say you weren't there for good intentions. Okay.
Yeah.
But we were there to see who was hotter, who was going to get hit on. I don't remember the video part of that. And I know the camera you're talking about. And I'm vaguely remember, but I don't even remember that getting up on the website or any of that shit. That's kind of bad because you wouldn't want to expose somebody that way. That's like, you're opening yourself up to a lawsuit. Mm-hmm. But I felt bad for the old guy because I remember seeing this really, he just looked like a happy grandpa. Mm-hmm. Well-dressed, looked like he had money, had a nice car, is retired, probably, living his best life. Once in a while getting his balls drained in the woods.
Is that what they call it?
I know. That's all I'm saying. Tapping for maple syrup.
that was a line I thought you were going to use.
But I'm like, oh man. And so I felt bad because as I looked at it, and you know me, I think things. Sometimes maybe I think differently than other people. But I thought about it and I go, boy, this poor guy could never be truly who he is because it was not accepted by society. So you went with the societal norms, you got married, you stayed and stayed and stayed until you get to a point in your life where you go, who gives a fuck anymore? I got to be me. I got to live my life. And yet now there's a wife and a 40-year marriage and careers and kids and colleges and family memories and all this shit that you're playing with kerosene, motherfucker, in my mind. In your pants and that would be something that could really destroy and could bring something home.
Yeah, right.
Bring a disease home, and you don't want to do that either. Anyway,
that's all the stuff we did. Yeah. Let's bring these bits back.
Well, I think that what you're doing at the courthouse was fun.
It was.
I thought those were funny. It was because you would ask a bunch of random questions. Like, how many, what's heavier, a pound of bricks, a pound of wood, all these silly little things. And then the last thing would be, what you doing at the courthouse? And we'd have to guess, were they there to support somebody who was in court? Were they there to answer a charge? And what was the third thing? So we always had a third option.
Child support was always a big one.
Child
Alimony was always a big one. Or custody. That was always something.
Oh, God. You would get some of the most.
Oh, gosh. And then the other game they liked was child support prices, right? The best was when
oh God, there was a fucking fight.
Yeah.
Remember the guys?
There were fights all the time because what I would do is I would manipulate the game. I go, okay, say you got it. Like the first guy who called would.
All right, this is my dumb idea. And it was, yes. So if you're paying child support, right? And so we would give you a price if you were willing to do this. You come on and you have to tell us how much you're paying either monthly, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, right? How much you pay. And then what do we have to do?
They had to give us the...
Oh, no. I got it wrong. Yes, you had to tell us when you paid, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, right? Mm-hmm. How many kids you had and how long you were married for and what your job is.
Yes.
And then out of that, we would guess how much you're paying. Listeners would guess how much the guy
without going over. We'll keep closest without
going over. Like what was this?
So we give the first guy the tickets because he was the subject, and then the other three had to battle it out like it was The Price is Right. So the two guys, whoever won would be happy. The guy who was on first would be happy. The other two guys would be swearing at each other. Go, oh come on, that's bullcrap. Because you know what I'm paying right now, child support, and I got 6 kids. And you know what? That's bull. I mean, I had to keep. I had to hit the dump button so many times because these guys would be like MFing each other.
Oh God, I forgot about that bit. I forgot.
Yeah, because we brought everybody's attention at morning show boot camp. We said, hey, we took it up to another level. You leave everybody on the line, and they all start swearing at each other.
We did some interesting things back then.
Yeah.
It's interesting things. All right. Well, I got one more for you.
All right.
We'll take a break. I got one. This is it's a dilemma. It's a moral dilemma. This is really a moral dilemma. And I am pulling it out of a current situation. But I'm curious as to how you would see this versus how I'm not even sure how I see it. I'm not sure. I understand it, but I'm not sure that I can actually wrap my endorsement around it. So
okay. All right.
We'll get to that right after this. Hey, if you've been thinking about checking out recreational cannabis in Monroe County, stop thinking and start visiting my buds over at MJ Dispensary. They were the first recreational cannabis destination in the county. That's right. The OG spot. And trust me, they know their stuff. I was at their summer event, and I was blown away by how educated and on top of it their bud tenders are. I mean, these aren't just people handing you a bag. They're like the Google of cannabis, but way friendlier and without the pop-up ads. Whether you're looking for edibles, vapes, concentrates, pre-rolls, or just something that helps you relax, sleep, or deal with pain, MJ Dispensary has it all. And the best part, they'll guide you so you don't leave looking like you just picked random snacks at 3 a.m. Now, maybe you're in it for the fun side. Maybe you're in it for the wellness side. It doesn't matter. They've got you covered. And here's a bonus. Delivery. That's right. From Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and even on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., they'll bring the goods right to your door and no judgment if you're in their pajamas. Oh. So, do yourself a favor. Head over to MJ Dispensary, 900 Jefferson Road, Suite 902 in Henrietta, or check them out online at mjdispensary585.com. Go ahead.
What was the show that, said that we're doing bits from 20 years ago?
I'm not telling you.
Okay.
I'm not telling you. It doesn't matter. Well, why is this eating at your brain?
I was just curious.
Why is it eating at your brain?
No, I'm just curious.
Funny is fucking funny.
Well, it is.
Yeah, I'll tell you off air, and it's not who you think it is. This is Sax Squatch. We had somebody in the studio earlier this week who saw Sax Squatch. Guy just put on a costume, went out in the woods during the pandemic, and started playing songs with backing tracks, and now he's selling out small clubs. It's like fucking outrageous.
Brilliant.
It's brilliant.
Sometimes the smallest, the simplest ideas are the best ideas.
100%. Why is this bothering you so much?
It's not bothering me. I was just curious.
No, it's bugging you because I can tell what it is.
No, it's not bugging me. I'm curious.
Who's the show? Who's the dick? Because if I say something, if I I could throw out any random name, and I'm thinking that 90%, I'll be 90% accurate if you go, yeah, those guys, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, yeah, I would because
I know. Hey,
there was no show that touched ours.
All right,
and I don't say that to be arrogant. I say that because it's the truth.
All right.
I still have people coming up to me telling me today, how much they missed that show.
Yeah, it was a great show. It was a really good show. And it's a wonderful thing to have had that, and it's wonderful for people to recognize that. I think that's really awesome. But I think it's fun to do this once a month. I'm really excited about it. I really am. But look, if you can't, tell me.
I really want to go to the courthouse.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you can't get to the courthouse.
Who's the vice president of the United States? Bill Clinton.
Now, there is going to be a piece of me now that as I'm older and stuff, I go, I don't want people to think we're mocking the ignorance of people. And I guess we are in a way.
All we're doing is sticking a mic. It's like there's a viral video going around about the education of America. Somebody went down to spring break because spring break's been going on this past week and next week, okay? Yeah. And they're interviewing women who are in college, asking them basic questions, and they can't answer them properly.
Well, because they're probably drunk.
Governmental. This is 10 o'clock in the morning. They're on a beach.
Do you ever hear of a hangover?
They're giggling, laughing. If you're hungover, man, you're not out on the beach at 10 o'clock.
Can you give a pretty girl a break? Can you give a pretty girl a break?
I mean, it's bad, Billy. It's bad.
I know.
So, like, look, if you can't answer some basic questions, it kind of just, we never really used it. Remember they made us, like, hand them, like, disclosure sheets that they had to sign?
Yes.
We're not going to use your name, but could you sign this, please? Which was so stupid.
Oh, well, they were covering their ass. It was an interesting time because people were getting tagged for different stuff. Mm-hmm. There were things that were once deemed okay, and then double entendre to talk about a blowjob or sex or some kind of insertion, which is banned by the FCC to talk about on radio unless it's for educational or purposes, right? I think like you could get a Dr. Ruth to do something because it was more clinical or Dr. Drew. What was the show?
Dr. Drew?
Yeah. Drew did the, what was the name of that show? It was a late night show.
Loveline?
Yeah, Loveline. Right. So they could get away with it. And they also, I think Loveline was on during what was the Blue Zone, which was after 10 p.m. I'm pretty sure. You could almost. Yeah,
between 10 and 6, you could get away with saying a little bit more.
I think it was 10 and 5. I think it was 10 and 5.
No, it was 10 and 6. You want to know why? Because when I worked with Beth and Chet, they were on at 5, and Chet goes, "Hey, Beth, we could swear until 6 o'clock."
Oh, okay. As
a joke, he wouldn't do that.
No,
Chet Walker and Beth Adams would never do that, but that was a joke.
I really thought it was 10 and 5. Well, whatever. But I like this, and don't let the.
It doesn't bother me. I'm just curious of who it is because I would love to make fun of their show because I'm pretty sure there's only so many pins left standing from our era. So that's why I'm kind of like.
Well, this pin isn't exactly standing. This pin, if we're going to refer to the person as a pin, it's wobbled. It's wobbled a lot.
Oh,
it's wobbled. It's not. It's not who you think it is.
Okay.
I don't think you even know this person on a personal level.
Okay.
Yeah. Word just got back to me, and I was like, "Hey."
Okay.
Whatever. No, we still did it for a while. And then I was like, "Hey, maybe they're right." So I just slow down. I don't know. I want to bring it back, though. They're fun. I like fun. I love fun. I love having fun. I love all this stuff. But here's kind of a serious thing. End of life. End of life. You've got a loved one, and they are just miserable. Their body's deteriorating, and they say to you,
"Pull the plug, Danny."
Yeah. Pull the plug, or
who signs my DNR
any
papers?
way that you can get me someone who can just let me drift off and be gone?
Oh, my father was like begging for it at the end of his life.
And I think a lot of times too,
he had enough morphine to choke everybody in the room.
Right. So, and a lot of times they'll up the morphine just to give you a peaceful.
He was still going.
Yeah. Right. So
that's what years of OxyContin will do to you, by the way.
You build up a tolerance?
Yeah, my father, he had a surgery in 99 or 2000 for like his rotator cuff. And they go, "Here, try these pain pills." And he just kept taking them for years. We had no idea the effect. None of us. We just thought they were pain pills.
Yeah.
We didn't know what OxyContin was. Nobody did.
Right. Right.
It was hillbilly heroin, and he was hooked.
It was hillbilly heroin. That is so true. So, but would you'd be okay with someone realizing like, they're never going to be the person they were.
Right.
This is, and I'm saying that, I'm asking this because you have a strong faith, a very, very strong faith, and you're very devout to that, right? You're devoted to that.
Yes.
I shouldn't say devote. You're devoted.
I trust Christ.
Yes. So all things in time, but if you're watching this, I mean, would you be okay in a way if someone said, I need to, it's so painful, I can't. I'll give you an example.
I would pray for a quick exit. I would have a tough now. Here's the thing: if there was a DNR situation, right, where like
DNR resuscitate is different.
Yeah, that's like if you go under, don't try to like pound on my chest and bring me back.
Right.
Okay, that's not a suicide situation. That is just letting the body take its natural course.
Dan, can you say unalive themselves?
Yeah, that's a big thing now.
Well, because you can't say suicide on social media, they flag it.
Yeah, I know.
So people say unalive themselves.
Yeah.
It just sounds so weird.
I'm unalive. But as far as like actually like speeding the process, I'd have a tough time doing that.
All right.
In fact, I wouldn't.
Okay. Okay.
I go to my sister, Steph, your turn.
Well, I'll give you an example of somebody that I have heard people talk about as though it were an unaliving themselves situation. And I disagree. I think that this person could just see long-term what was going to happen. And that is Robin Williams, and he had Lewy body disease,
which is awful,
or Lewy body dementia.
Lewy body dementia,
which I think your whole body forgets.
It's like Alzheimer's, except Alzheimer's will kill you a lot quicker than Lewy body dementia. Right now, I believe. Oh gosh, Ted Turner has it right now.
Okay, and
Sophia from the Golden Girls, remember her, the old lady?
Yeah.
She died of that. They went to visit her a year before she died. She didn't remember who any of them were. And she still lingered another.
Right. And I don't think that Robin, who was probably one of the most prolific performers that you have ever seen, and when he was on cocaine, it was even wilder. And Bobby Slayton, who I just showed my son a bit of Bobby's that I think I texted Bobby, I go, I just found a piece of you on YouTube from 25 years ago, and I think this shit still holds up. It's like so relatable. And even Jameson was laughing, and it was certainly not aimed at him. It was more about married couples and blah, 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 blah. But it was his whole style. And he would say to you all the time that there was something about Robin, because Robin was accused of ripping off other comics. And he goes, he didn't like write down your joke. He just absorbed so much stuff that when he started riffing, he would just be spitballing. And he goes, I remember I was doing an HBO special, and I go, Robin, don't do this joke. Or no, maybe Robin was doing it, and he did the joke on an HBO special. And he's like, he goes, you couldn't even really get mad at him, but people were. But my point with this is that he was going downhill, and it's an awful way to go. And I don't think that you want to be remembered that way. I would also think this: you don't want to be a burden to somebody. You don't want to have somebody wiping your ass. You know, I mean, there is the letting go. When people say you have to let go of things, let go. You're literally letting go of everything in your life as you approach the end. Your ability to get to the bathroom, your ability to shower yourself. You're going to have somebody else. Sometimes it's a stranger that's going to be showering you. You got to let that all. That's real pride. That's real humiliation. Yeah. And I think for some people that it's like, nah, I'm not doing that. Right? So you unalive yourself. Well, here's a situation where it's different. The result's the same, I think. I don't know exactly. But there is a guy who was a football coach in a small town. I believe in the South. And he was accused of, I don't know that he ever had physical contact, but I'm pretty sure he sent text of his junk to a 16-year-old at the school. And it was being talked about around the library table. And somebody overheard it. And so I don't know if they got a hold of it. I don't know if there was proof of this. So, yeah. The headline is missing, it was Virginia. So it's the South. Missing Virginia football coach Travis Turner allegedly sexted explicit photos to a 16-year-old girl. He's 46, married, father of 3. And allegedly sent the disturbing X-rated messages over a 3-month stretch. He was the head coach at a high school. First came the accusation, then police became involved. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
He's been missing since November of 2025. Missing.
Okay.
Last seen walking into the woods with a gun.
You think he became the Sasquatch?
Nope.
Phone guy? That's why he went to a gorilla costume and started playing the sax?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
You think he probably unalived himself?
That's what I'm thinking.
That makes the most sense.
But hang on.
However,
according to this article, that the day he did that, the police were on their way to his house, I believe, to arrest him.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that the way I read the article, it said that disappeared. Okay. The 46-year-old man father vanished late last year as they were on the way to grill him over child porn and exploitation accusations. So they were allegedly, that makes it sound like he knew they were coming and they were on their way now, and he just went into the woods. how would he know they were coming? They usually don't call for an invite.
Yeah, somebody tip them off inside.
Okay, so here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
If you are in this situation, and I would never endorse unaliving yourself. I would think, I guess I just did by saying if you're at the very end. But if you're an able-bodied 40-something-year-old father of 3 kids who's the esteemed high school football coach, I wouldn't encourage you to go unalive yourself. However, this is an accusation that could absolutely have you lose everything in your life. And when I say everything, I mean your kids may never talk to you again, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a chance.
Yeah.
Definitely your wife. You're going to wind up going through a divorce. Everybody's going to find out about it because it's a small town. Your parents, everybody's there. And you're just in that moment. The police are on their way, and you go into the woods. And I'm thinking, like you said, he was tipped off. But it wouldn't surprise me if there was somebody who just really liked this guy, another, like a police officer.
That's a small town. He's probably somebody, one of the police officers may have been someone who grew up with him.
Oh, it could be. Or it could also be somebody on his coaching staff.
Yeah.
Call him up and go, hey, man, I just want to let you know they're on the way. And what if he said to this guy, because he vanished. It's impossible to vanish.
Yeah, how far could he have gone?
Well, it's impossible to just vanish.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be nice if this guy was, down trying to get some 16-year-old tail in Brazil or something right now. I'd go, oh, well, look at that. But no, I don't think that. It was last seen with the gun, and no one knows. So I'm wondering if he said to the police officer, hey, listen, I'm going up to the tree stand in the woods. He goes, and I'm going to unalive myself. They're going to be looking on the ground. They're not going to find me. Come get my body. Come get me. Right. So eventually, someone would find me. They haven't. So unless it was so cold, but it's Virginia, they haven't had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. So you come get me and just get rid of me. Just get rid of me. I want to disappear. I'm leaving the planet. Would you do it?
No.
See, now I think I might. I might go, yeah, I get it. This is a tough one to deal with. You would lose everything. It would be horrible.
You could lose everything.
Dan.
The odds are you would.
Yes.
But it's not 100%.
You need your name smeared to the mud. Your kids getting teased at school. All this shit.
It's not like they're not going to if you're gone.
Well, no. You might get a little sympathy. You might get... I know your dad disappeared. And I know the stuff, but I don't believe it happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
If there's a trial and there's proof all of a sudden, it's kind of puts a whole thing. Now, the bad part is that allegedly the parents of the girl, the family, are saying this was going on and the school pushed it off so they could get through the playoffs.
That's totally.
I mean, is that?
Yeah, that makes total sense. Especially a Southern school.
Yes.
Yes.
I think they
We're going to put this off until we lose.
I think they said something like,
well, I mean, dude, that's what happened in Michigan.
Yes, I know.
With Sharon Moore.
Yeah.
Can we just get through the season?
Yeah.
Because as soon as they lost to Ohio State, all of a sudden, prominent Michigan alumni in media were getting texts. Oh yeah, this is going to get ugly.
Yeah.
They're like, what are you talking about?
Now, look, there are people that are called MAPs. Do you know what a MAP is?
Yeah.
You do. What is it?
They're called minor attracted persons.
Right. Now, I have said, I'm not sure that this guy was a minor attracted person. And just on the defense, a lot of times it doesn't say he worked at the school. Doesn't say that. But many times it's like a teacher who also picks up some coaching. A lot of times in football, it's the gym guy, right? The gym teacher. Now, I remember a high school gym teacher saying to me, and I was an adult, that he's like, you got to be really careful. He goes, because like if you're sitting at the edge of the bleachers and, you're just checking off the attendance while the kids go through a stretching routine, some of the girls will come over, and he goes, they actually like put their breasts like on your
shoulder,
or press in. And he goes, you've got to be really careful, but you can see where some guys are like, God damn, baby, you good. You know what I mean? It's terrible. It's terrible. I'm not trying to endorse this. I'm just saying that he even said, you got to like really mind your P's and Q's and go back up. You have to back up. But he's like, you never want to like put yourself in a situation where you were almost brought into something where you accidentally brushed against.
That's why they have to reduce the risk class. All those things you have to. All those techniques that they teach about personal space.
Crazy stuff, right? So
never be alone with the kid. So never give them a ride home.
My point in saying this is he may not have been a minor attracted person. Yeah. A lot of times, minor attracted people are attracted to. There was allegedly,
or you mean like a pedophile?
Well, that's you have to be. You can be a minor attracted person and never act on it.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So that wouldn't be a pedophile.
I see what you're saying.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, right.
But I guarantee that you and I know people. We don't know it, but they're minor attracted persons. Mm-hmm. Weird.
But they've never done. Yeah.
But they won't
do it. Yeah.
Right. Now there was a thing called the NAMBLA, the National Association of Man-Boy Love.
Yeah, I thought that was fake when South Park did an episode about that.
Oh, no.
It was real. Oh, yeah. I know.
Yeah, and their saying was...
Ugh, this is disgusting.
All right, should I say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sex before 8, before it's too late. And they don't mean the time, right? Okay. So that was their thing.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad, when he was working with the center, he was
exploit children.
Yeah. Yes, but it was not the national one. But,
okay.
And their purpose was to work with the family and the kids that were left behind. His friend was a therapist or a social worker, a licensed social worker, and he wanted to work with the kids and the family that was left behind because all mom and dad's attention go on the missing child and what happens in the home, and then what happens when the kid comes back. And it was Steven Stainer who at 15, when Timothy White was abducted by the same guy and Steven was no longer the interest, Steven turned them in. He had seen himself on milk cartons and everything, but the guy had brainwashed him and bought him gifts and treated him well, other than, I don't know, Friday night, date night. I don't know what it was called. But you understand what I'm saying, right? Not to make light of that. But so then Steven comes home, and it's like the family only remembers the 7 or 8 year old boy that left, so they start treating him like that. And it was a really difficult thing for them. And then I know they were trying to study for a while, and Steven wound up being killed in a motorcycle accident. So you can't study that now. But the minor attracted person stuff is, I have said, where if we go with the argument that you are born this way, whatever way that is, right? If I'm somebody I'm attracted to the same sex, right? Many times there are certain religions and things that have said how bad that is, right? How wrong that is. My grandmother was Catholic. They did not. Okay. So, and she was very, very vocal about all that stuff. Now, let's say you're a minor attracted person, but you're born that way, right? If you're born to be attracted to the same sex or whatever, and you kind of can't control that, it's just innate in you. Could the MAPS thing be innate in you, but it's just so bad in society? You would fucking ruin someone. Like, you know what I'm saying? So here's, I don't find this funny. I have suggested this many times. We now have AI, and we have AI robots and things. What if we gave the MAPS an 8-year-old version that looks like an 8?
Oh, jeez.
What? I'm asking, and I know this sounds funny, but I'm asking from a very ethical standpoint. Maybe they're brilliant contributors to society. Taxpayers.
Are you
great
saying
neighbors, keep their lawns immaculate, so wonderful. And oh my God, have you had their upside down pineapple cake at Christmas time? Phenomenal. I'm just saying, never better.
You want to give
a map? Yes.
A robot.
Yes.
An 8-year-old robot.
You got no, not an 8-year-old robot. Looks like an 8-year-old human.
Well, that would be a robot.
Yeah, it's not a real person. You're right. It's a robot. But I'm not saying you said 8-year-old robot. The robot.
I don't believe that would work, because I believe that they would get like anything else. They would get sick of that and then go for the real thing.
Okay. I'm just wondering.
Remember our first conversation about addictions and stuff like that earlier?
Yeah.
That you can't like is alcoholism really a disease? Is MAPS really a disease, Billy? Or is it a perversion?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they were born that way. Well, then you got to be born again. And I know people don't want to hear that, but hey.
I'm just saying. I mean, that was it. That was all. That's just my thought. I've had that thought for a while because I go,
I understand. Now, here's the thing. I understand the logic behind that.
Thank you. I thought so too.
I also, on paper, understand the logic behind communism, but it's a terrible idea, and it's been tested.
Well, I don't think this is a terrible idea. I think this is an idea that, with the world we live in today, might actually be beneficial in some fashion. I don't know.
It's like, hey, let's give a heroin addict some heroin and a clean needle.
Yeah.
Because,
I didn't say that. I know what you're doing. I know what you're saying.
It's like apples to apples here, Billy.
Or if you get arrested as a MAP, do we just have a prison?
For the MAPS?
Where we go, hey, you want to have some fun today? What are you doing? 2:00, meet me over at the so-and-so prison. We're going to let loose a bunch of 8-year-old robots and see what happens.
Oh, Billy.
What? I'm just saying, like, in theory, just theory, Dan, that's all. I mean, it's like this. If I see a guy walking into the woods by himself with a gun, I'm not thinking he's going to meditate.
Or he could be hunting.
Yeah. Yep. Certainly.
Well, it depends on the kind of gun.
Not a meditation retreat. But this guy, I was just wondering because shame is a brutal emotion.
It is.
And this guy, you would deny or whatever or deflect, but at some point, the truth catches up with you. And the worst part to me in all of this is his kids are left without the proverbial closure. I'm not sure if you really want it. You would always want to be remembered. And I think that was kind of maybe if this guy did off himself, that it was the driving thought behind him. I don't want my kids to go through this.
I remember when O.J. Simpson was driving down the 405 with Al Cowlings, or Al Cowlings was driving him and he was riding. And my father said this. He goes, this sounds awful. I'm 14 years old watching O.J.
Right.
And he got the NBA Finals in the small box. And my father goes, it might be better off if he just did away with himself.
Yeah. I mean, can you, right, to understand
and the logic, it sounds on paper like it makes sense.
Yes. But OJ got free. Didn't see that coming.
I wonder what life would have been like had he done that. I wonder, I mean, clearly we wouldn't have never had the trial. We would have never have had all the backlash that went with the trial.
Right.
I mean, the 90s.
But then what happens to the family of the Goldberg family?
Goldmans.
Oh, Goldman.
In the Browns.
Goldberg was the TV show, forgive me. But the Goldman family, right? Mm-hmm. Who just was not targeted. She was targeted. He happened to be
there, right?
Be there, for whatever the thing was. I don't even think, I think it was alleged they were having an affair. I don't think there was any of that. I think he was just knew her, had become friendly in some way, and was bringing back sunglasses that she had left. Maybe now that I say it out loud, maybe.
I don't think so. I think there was something going on there, but I mean, because he was very. Somebody said they were the most divorced couple you'd ever meet. But there was a lot going on that day. I remember that day too. Everything that went on in my life that day because it was such a monumental happening. But I remember my father having that conversation, and I think it's okay to talk about those things and bring them up. I wish we would talk more about stuff like that. As uncomfortable as it is, I wish we would exchange more ideas like that to have the freedom to discuss these things. That doesn't mean I agree with them. Like that idea you just had.
Yeah.
Because that's how we get to the bottom of better ideas instead of just keeping them to ourselves.
Are you trying to say I had a shitty idea? Is that what you're saying? You don't like
No, I'm saying I could see the logic behind
teasing you.
No, but I'm saying I see
don't
the logic.
Take me so serious.
No. But I wish we could have more nuanced discussions like that. In society,
me too. That's
general.
why I like having them here.
But people don't want to have those conversations.
And my thing was, honestly, if this
do you think we could have that conversation on the radio? I don't know.
No, I don't.
That we just did?
I am not sure.
I don't know.
I don't think about that. I don't even think that way
we
anymore.
don't think like that anymore. I'm just thinking
No, that's a good point.
We were talking earlier about all the stupid stuff fun stuff we did.
Yeah. Yes, on the radio.
On the radio, and it's like, but think about the stuff you can't do anymore.
Well, good point. I would say that, but my thing that originally brought this up is if this football coach and I was a police officer who knew him, maybe I would tip him off, and maybe I would go get the body, and I would literally have him disappear, and it would be a struggle for me Because I think
But there's no closure at this point.
Well, there's no closure.
Instead of having a trial and all this stuff and having it wrapped up by now with due process, instead we got a situation where...
Well, it's guilt, right? I mean, shame and guilt. Or maybe the guy just wasn't, who knows? Maybe he could have been in a bad state of mind at that moment and not done that. And maybe that's not what happened. Maybe somebody met him in the back of the woods. He goes, I'm just going to bring a gun. They're going to think I killed myself and get me out of here. I have no idea. All I know is he disappeared, and I would think most likely he did die.
But at this point, if you're the police department and somebody went in the woods and I mean, then you'd find tracks, you'd find blood, you'd find little clues here and there.
Right.
So...
Well, unless they just, go...
Maybe the police department was all in on it. Hey, we're coming to get you.
Yeah.
So you may want to die on your shield.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like, I think was it Japan where they would...
Harry Carey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kamikaze pilots, right?
Well, kamikaze pilots, but also, or was it even back in Roman times, they would throw themselves literally with the phrase...
Throw yourself it was Saul in the Bible.
Yeah.
He threw himself on his sword.
And I think it was very popular in Roman times.
Or like well, they talked about the end of Godfather too. When spoiler alert, they're sitting there with Pantangelo. He goes to visit him in jail. Tom Hagen, who we talked about.
Yeah,
and he goes, when a coup against the emperor failed, what happened? Oh yeah, they went home and they opened up their veins, and oftentimes they had a party before they did it, and their families were taken care of. Yeah. This sounds like that could have been that kind of situation.
Yeah, it could. And sad, but interesting nonetheless to me. Like just to look at the whole
behind,
picture.
Yeah.
Yes, not the story itself.
No,
that's
of course
tragic.
Not. The logic,
but the reaction to it. It was just different. I hadn't really heard of that, and I thought, I get that.
I wish that hadn't happened.
Yeah, I get that. You know what? A lot of people will say the difference between sinners and saints is behavior. And I think that the difference between sinners and saints in real life is when the truth catches up with you. Then we get to see who's what, And
then we find out we're all sinners. Not me.
Yeah.
We are.
The real difference is when the truth catches up to you. That's all. Oh, Danny, it's always fun and good to see you.
Yeah, you too. Stay strong. Stay focused.
And I like
You're almost there, Billy.
I like our nuanced conversation.
Yes.
I enjoy that.
Next week, we talk about tanning beds.
Well, you know what? Maybe that's the first one we do next week. We can do that.
Our makeup artist, Yvonne, he sounds dead. We need to brown up the meat a little.
For Dan Barillo, I'm Bill Moran. We'll see you next time.
California, baby, things have gotten worse. Seems a land of opportunity for me is just a curse. Tell that judge he make us feel. I'm tired of have to wait.